Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of the Block Thrasher Daily Morning Crypto Update, where we are helping you make the best, most informed investment decisions with cryptocurrency news, commentary, analysis, and education. If that sounds like something you need, please be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications, and come back every single day for more good, useful information. Today, we are going to talk about our word of the day as we always do. We're going to look at a market overview, see what's happening with prices in the cryptocurrency space. We're going to talk about XRP. Can't seem to not, for some reason, every single day there's something new about XRP that is of interest. Google has done something that is another signal for mass adoption. We're going to talk about this investment firm, FD7, which is doing some interesting things. We're going to talk about how the Sharktank boys are adopting crypto. Yes, Mr. Wonderful, Mr. Mark Cuban. Good statements from those guys coming on board. Who's going to be next? That's the big question. We're going to look at some things Citibank is saying and also talk about how JP Morgan Chase has been recommending, finally, cryptocurrency to its investors. And we've been talking about that a little bit in the last couple of days as well. Well, let's get started and jump right in with the word of the day. I like this one. The word of the day is verbicide. Verbicide. Have you ever heard verbicide before? Maybe not. I don't think I have. That's why we're doing this. Building our education, getting smarter every single day together. I want you guys to have well informed and have great vocabularies, right? So that you sound smart, right? I mean, that gives you, they say people judge you by the words you use, and one of the most important things when looking for a job or anything else that is noticed is your vocabulary, right? So verbicide. What does verbicide mean? verbicide. Verbicide. It is a noun which means one who mutilates or destroys a word. The second definition is the act of destroying the sense or value of a word, perversion of a word from its proper meaning, as in punning. So here are 5 words that we should banish from our vocabulary, or preventing verbicide with C.S. Lewis. Now, C.S. Lewis, obviously one of the most notable authors of all time, a voracious reader and great lover of language, C.S. Lewis was concerned about verbicide, what he called the murder of words. As Lewis describes in Studies in Words 7 and 8, pages 7 and 8, verbicide happens in a number of ways. Here are some of the ways that C.S. Lewis talked about verbicide happening. Number 1 is inflation of a word's value. Inflation is one of the commonest. Those who taught us to say awfully for very, for instance, tremendous for great, sadism for cruelty, and unthinkable for undesirable were verbicide. So he's using it to describe people who are committing this act, right? Fake superlatives would be another way. Another way is verbiage, by which I here mean the use of a word as a promise to pay which is never going to be kept. The use of significant as if it were an absolute. Man, there's a significant use of significant cases of just verbicide. And with no intention of ever telling us what the thing is significant of would be another example. So is diametrically when it is used merely to put opposite in the superlative. Now, there's comparative. There's comparative would be like, it is good, it is better, right? There's when it comes to adjectives, you have descriptive, which would be good. There's comparative, which is better, and then you have the superlative, which is best. Just in case you didn't know that quick little grammar on adjectives, right? So an example of verbicide would be when diametrically, when it is used merely to put opposite into the superlative, right? Politics and advertising, of course, if there's going to be a place or an arena where we're going to see verbicide happening a lot, it's going to be in this arena, isn't it? Going to be in politics and advertising. Men often, quote C.S. Lewis, men often commit verbicide because they want to snatch a word as a party banter to appropriate its selling quality. Verbicide was committed when we exchanged Whig and Tory for liberal and conservative. Another example of verbicide would be show versus tell. But the greatest cause of verbicide, according to C.S. Lewis, is the fact that most people are obviously far more anxious to express their approval and disapproval of things than to describe them. Hence the tendency of words to become less descriptive and more evaluative than to become evaluative while still retaining some hint of the sort of goodness or badness implied, and to end up by being purely evaluative. Useless synonyms for good or for bad. We should see this happening to the word villain in a latter chapter. Rotten, paradoxically, has become so completely a synonym for bad that we now have to say bad when we mean rotten. And this is true. This is happening. I mean, language is just being botched all over the place, right? Of course. I mean, I'm thinking of an example is the verbicide that's been happening currently with Minute, right? You know, Minute used to speak about a minute, like 60 seconds. Now it's like, yeah, man, I haven't done that for a minute. And we're talking like months, years. It can be any amount of time, right? Another good example of some current verbicide that's been happening in our modern vernacular. All right, moving on to the market. Let's look at what's happening with prices today. Now, the total market cap is at $1.483 trillion. Don't want to mistake that there. That'd be a misnomer. All right. And BTC, the Bitcoin dominance is at 60.9%. Looking at the Bitcoin price, Bitcoin is pumping. We are pumping up 10.53% in the last 24 hours, almost erasing last week's losses. We're at $48,832.72. As I said earlier, it is a good day for crypto. Hey, by the way, I just want to apologize about the audio issues that I was having the last couple of days. Been having trouble with my microphone, trying to figure those things out. You know, I'm going to get better equipment here shortly, doing the best we can with what we got. And you know, I hope things are good today. Trying a couple different settings and a couple different things. I hope I'm not blowing out the audio though, because I'm trying to bump the gain up a little bit and to get rid of that weird echo and buzzing sound that was in there before. Sorry about that. I just want to say that we will get to the point where things are, you know, enjoyable to listen to here in terms of quality and video as well, moving in that direction. Anyway, back to the market. Bitcoin up 10%, 48,741. It is, you know, usually the market's down on a Monday, so this is looking good. Ethereum is up 15.81%. Now we got some to go to see Ethereum recover last week's losses, but for a Monday, this is killer, friends. Up 15.87% to $1,549.66 for Ethereum. Cardano's been on a tear, and I like it, right? Cardano is the only coin that just, like, in the top 10 that killed it last week, up a total 36%. It is up 23.49. Cardano's up 4%. Binance is killing it. We're getting to that. Let's jump into the Binance numbers. Cardano's up 4% to $1.27. Now, Binance clearly the winner in the last 24 hours. It is up 23%, and that puts it into the green for the last 7 days, up 3.63% for the week. Binance is currently $256.07. Continuing to see the Ethereum competitors doing quite well, and as well as the exchange tokens. And Binance is interesting because it's kind of both of those, right? All right, moving on. Polkadot's looking good, friends. The Polkadot hodlers are happy today. We're up 15% to $35.33. XRP's even doing pretty well. Down 20% for the week, but up 6.46% in the last 24 hours. It is now 43 cents. Litecoin is up 10% as well. Chainlink is up 14, pushing close to 15% at $27.18. Dropping down to some of the other. Stellar's been doing well of late as well, and that one always kind of just escapes my notice. But up 7% at 42 cents. Uniswap's turning on the boosters, it looks like, as well, up 16.23%, and it is $24.70 this morning. Dogecoin up 6.83%, and I think that will cover it for our market overview for the day. Now, XRP, did you know that Ripple unlocks 1 billion XRP at the beginning of every single month? Now, when you first see the headline, Ripple unlocks 1 billion XRP, you can be like, whoa, what's going on? But this happens every single month. You see, the way it is with XRP is that there's billions of XRP that are still set to be released by Ripple and under their control. And so they're supposedly adding liquidity to the market, but that's a billion new coin. That's pretty inflationary, being put into the market and sent to exchanges every single day. So following its monthly tradition, on March 1st, blockchain behemoth Ripple let a staggering 1 billion XRP tokens out of the escrow, as reported by Whale Alert crypto tracker. right? Meanwhile, the XRP token has remained around the 43 cents price line for a week already. So this event, as I stated, occurs first of day every month. On the first of the month, Ripple automatically unlocks what is currently $415 million worth of XRP to support the market liquidity of the coin by sending it to crypto exchanges and perhaps sending it to some of its regular customers as well. So I don't know. I'm sorry, Ripple XRP holders. I'm just saying it as it is, right? And there's quite an injection of Ripple coming into the market every single month. Now this is interesting. Google Finance has added a tab to the menu, which is on the top of the finance page. Now this is finance.google.com, and if you look over, you've got the US, Europe, Asia, currencies, and then crypto. This is a brand new thing and just another sign of mass adoption. Obviously, people are wanting this. And if you click on that, it shows Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. So we'll see. I'm sure this will, be built out, and there will be more information there eventually. I mean, why would Google want to miss that? They wouldn't want to. And so this is interesting. Now I want to talk about this FD7 group. They were in the news just a couple days back, maybe a week ago, because they made this announcement that they were going to dump $750 million of Bitcoin and buy Cardano and Polkadot instead. Now, this group is in the news again today because they're doing something interesting, but I wanted to just check them out a little bit. This is their website. If you want to check it out, it's fd7ventures.com. Now, what they do, what does FD7 mean? It's interesting. It's actually falling down 7. And what we're talking about is that it's, 7 times of failure. It's on the 8th time that you might see success. So they are investing in entrepreneurs. This is what they state. We can see it if you're watching on the video. We invest in entrepreneurs who stand up an 8th time. So that's cool. I like it. You keep getting knocked down, you get up again, right? You get up again and you keep pushing and you keep trying. So if we go and look at the homepage, let's see, what is FD7 Ventures about? They help the entrepreneurs, and if you click on what we do, they say, with offices in Toronto, Canada, and Dubai, UAE, our team leads investments in all stages of crypto blockchain projects. The company also manages cryptocurrency assets for high net worth investors. To become an investor in our fund or have us manage your cryptocurrency investment, contact us at investors@fd7ventures.com. Interesting stuff, right? They're working with Cosmos, Bitcoin, Polkadot, Ethereum, Cardano, and I'm sure many more. So here's the item of the news in the news today, though. We've been hearing that India is talking about this potential ban of crypto, right, and locking down. So in spite of this, FD7 Ventures launches a $250 million micro fund in India to invest in projects building on Cardano and Polkadot ecosystems. More good news for Cardano and Polkadot. Bangalore, India. Now, this is businesswire.com if you want to check that story out. I'll put a link in the description. I'll try to do that to these stories in the future. I haven't been doing that, but I'm going to do that. FD7 Ventures today announced the opening of their Bangalore office. The new location is home to an FD7 microfund targeting $250 million that will focus on investments in teams building out projects that further the Polkadot and Cardano ecosystems. The move is part of FD7's strategic roadmap to build its presence in Bangalore, an area widely considered a hub of the nation's top engineering talent. The Bangalore-based fund will be led by local partner Niraj Singh. Expansion into India's investment landscape offers FD7 region-specific advantages that are radically different from the blockchain and cryptocurrency scenes in the United States. In particular, India's university-level programs like those of IIT offer proximity to a hotbed for leading tech talent. Absolutely true. India is an incredible place for development to happen within the cryptocurrency space. So India's just like trying to just cut the feet off, right? And this is crazy because tons of value could be coming into that country, tons of earnings and potential for those. I mean, they've got a ton, like this article is stating, at the Institute of technology, IIT, and all across India. There's a ton of programmers and developers who just are excited about and want to get involved in this space. And so we're going to keep watching what happens. My guess would be, though, at some point in time, because of things like this, because of these types of institutions and everything going on, India eventually will capitulate and will welcome and embrace, because at the end of the day, they're going to want what's best for their economy, I think. You never know, though. We shall see. Moving on to the signature story of the day. Here we have Mr. Wonderful. None other than Mr. Wonderful, who once called Bitcoin garbage in 2019. I love this story. It's just another story, because you still see it constantly. I got into a discussion with somebody on Facebook just the other day who was trying to talk about all these problems with Bitcoin and fudding this and fudding that and not fully, completely understanding how everything works, and having picked up all of these, talking points that have been said over the years. But one after another, we have the wealthiest individuals in the United States, these entrepreneurial, giants, these behemoths like Elon Musk and Mark Cuban, and now Mr. Wonderful saying, I am now investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, you've got to love it, right? This is good stuff. Last week, Canadian businessman Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful, and ABC TV series Shark Tank on Shark Tank, said that an improving regulatory climate had changed his mind about cryptocurrencies. Okay, that's interesting. I can see that. I get that. I wonder if it also has something to do with the fact that Bitcoin's nearly $50,000, right? And has surpassed it, gone to 57, 58, I think, at the high. These guys are smart. And after a while, I could see, that they're already, incredibly wealthy. So why take a risk at all, Whereas other people who are not, who are just hoping to see some really, who want to, are willing to take on the risk, right? Because of the potential reward. Often in investing, that's the way it is. The greater the risk, the greater the potential reward. Now you could end up, just losing everything that you put in, or just having phenomenal gains. Well, these guys, they want known. They want to know that and so the regulatory concern could be an issue. I think there were a lot of people that were sort of sitting by waiting to see what's going to happen. If I get into Bitcoin, is the government somehow at some point in time going to make it illegal to own it, or something to the effect, right? Those concerns have just been put aside, right? Washed away, put to the side, because of all of the institutional investors that are coming in and the clarity that's been added to the regulatory space. So, and this is what Mr. Wonderful is stating and saying. So on February 23rd, Hadley Gamble, a CNBC anchor based in Abu Dhabi, talked to O'Leary about crypto. According to a report by Bitcoin.com, O'Leary said this: I actually think that digital currencies are here to stay. Amen to that. Most people that are willing to hold them, including institutions over the last 90 days, are willing to deal with the volatility. I am fascinated. I'm investing. I'm holding a 3% weighting in it between Ethereum and Bitcoin. The volatility sickens me, but I'm getting used to it. And finally, I'm starting to think about how do I invest in the infrastructure of mining Bitcoin. Good stuff. Now, like I said, it's not just Mr. Wonderful. The Shark Tank boys, Mr. Wonderful and Mark Cuban, they're all in. They're going all in on crypto. Mark Cuban says Ethereum will disrupt the F out of big software companies. Cuban says smart contracts will change the game for software as a service companies, insurance claims, and banking, and he's looking forward to it. I gotta love these guys now. Gotta love them. In brief, in an interview with Decrypt, Mark Cuban, who knows a thing or two about disruption, says Ethereum smart contracts will disrupt software companies, banking, and healthcare. Cuban has become very bullish. He's a very bullish public advocate for NFT collecting. And of course, we've been talking about that a lot. He's right, but it's not just Ethereum. It's going to be the cryptocurrency ecosystem, right? It's going to be the Ethereums, it's going to be the Cardano, the Polkadots, and all of these platforms that are launching NFT and DeFi and all of the banking things and everything. You guys get it. I digress. Moving on. here's the big, oh, by the way, we're going to look at an NFT project today that I've mentioned before, but I'm going to mention it again because it's in the news, and I think this is worth looking at. But moving on to the next story, there's a big question here about Twitter. Is Twitter going to be the next Tesla and add Bitcoin to its balance sheet? That's the big question. MicroStrategy, helmed by Bitcoin evangelist Michael Saylor, who's, just you can't do cryptocurrency news without Michael Saylor popping up into the conversation sometime of late. Obviously, this because he's already twice raised an eye-twitching amount of cash from investors via convertible notes to buy the world's biggest cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Now, as Twitter has announced that it wants to do a $1.25 billion offering of convertible notes, some influencers in the crypto community seem to believe that the Twitter CEO, Bitcoiner Jack Dempsey, might be raising funds to put some Bitcoin onto the company's balance sheet. And this could be among those speculating. Such are clever Masha Letterman and Anthony Pompliano, known as Pomp on Twitter, right? That would be great. That would be cool. Another good thing for crypto. Yes. Go on, Jack. Do it. Do it. He's already set up a Bitcoin node. We read about that recently. We know he's a Bitcoiner. Things are getting exciting out there, friends. Absolutely. All right. I told you we were going to talk about an NFT project and some NFT stuff, and here it is. Moving on. Logan Paul makes new NFT Pokemon card unboxing highlights, sells out. Boom, just like that. YouTuber, this guy's on fire right now with his NFT things, man. Tell you what, YouTuber Logan Paul had previously partnered with Bondi Finance to launch his own NFT, or non-fungible token. Just quickly, for those who might be new and don't know what NFTs are, non-fungible tokens, right? Basically what they are is, instead of being a fungible token, like a Bitcoin, right? Let's say you had a Bitcoin, you can exchange it for another Bitcoin, it's exactly the same. But a non-fungible token is a token which is unique, and there's only one of that kind. So what Logan is doing is he's creating a piece of art, and then that art, a digital piece of art, and then the NFT token on the Bondi or on the Binance Smart Chain or whatever platform it's on, it gets assigned a token to that piece of art, and so it's unique and it's one of a kind, and then that can be sold and that can be traded, and there's marketplaces, and that's what Bondi is. Marketplaces that are popping up where these things can be bought and sold and traded, and so it's this huge thing just with all kinds of potential ramifications. I mean, think of baseball cards, for instance. Back in the day, you go out to the gas station down the corner and you buy your baseball pack, and this is taking it to a whole new level, right? Where there can be unique cards for one player that has, whatever data attached to it. So you get the idea. So Paul's Pokemon unboxing NFT sold out in just moments. I'm going to jump over to the Bondi site and show this to you guys. What is Bondi? Bondi is a portable peer-to-peer exchange that enables trading across any chain through any medium. I've been talking about this a lot. One of the things that seems to be really, really cool about Bondi is that they're working to be chain agnostic. So they're going to be working with Polkadot. They're going to be working with Cardano. They're working with the Binance Smart Chain. These guys are, I think, looking ahead and very forward thinking in this regard. And so they've created this, and they've got these, they got this with Logan coming on, obviously, because he's a well-known YouTube celebrity with tons of followers, and so they've really utilized this to just catapult themselves. They went from, 9, 10, 11, 12 cents maybe 3 months ago. Obviously the entire market's been doing well, but Bondi is currently up, I think sitting around somewhere like 57 cents. I can pull it up quickly here on my phone, and because I've been tracking Bondi. This might just be 56 cents. 56 cents for Bondi. So this might be one to just keep an eye on. I like the team, I like the technology, I like what they're doing, and I also like the fact that they've already announced that they're going to be working closely with Cardano to help bring marketplace and incorporate Cardano into everything that they're doing into their ecosystem. So looking really, really good there with Bondi. All right, time to move on and talk about, as I stated earlier today, one by one, we see these naysayers who in the past were talking down, talking bad, throwing FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt about Bitcoin. They're starting to turn around. They're starting to say the opposite. They're starting to come on board. And this would be another example of that. This is Citibank. Citibank has released an article, some research that they've done stating that Bitcoin is now at a tipping point. And I just want to bring this to you guys because there was some good stuff in here. And again, I'll put the link into this, so if you want to read the full thing, because I'm just going to gloss over it really quickly and get you guys an idea here. Now, the first Citi GPS venture into digital currency was back in 2014. At that time, they featured it in an article in their second Disruptive Innovations report, right? Although we discussed Bitcoin, we did so with the caveat that it was a branded digital currency and a freely available generic Bitcoin technology, but there was the potential that a non-Bitcoin alternative digital currency would one day support it. In May 2014, when we published the report, Bitcoin was just 5 years old with a market value around 6.2 billion. Isn't that incredible? And now Bitcoin is touching, $1 trillion. We wrote, it actually did hit at one point, the market cap hit $1 trillion for Bitcoin. It's come back down a little bit. I think it's around 800 billion, but it will get back there shortly, I would think. And if not in this cycle, which I'm pretty sure it will, but if not, the next. We wrote that Bitcoin was familiar and welcome to the younger generations, and although older investors may have heard the word, they were generally less familiar with it and more skeptical. That is changing, absolutely. Think of the Cubans, think of the Mr. Wonderfuls. We recognized there was very little Bitcoin activity among institutional investors in organized financial markets, as it was considered far too risky and volatile. In the end, we still assessed Bitcoin as a wannabe asset and a wannabe means of transaction, and lamented that although you could have a lot of Bitcoin, there wasn't much to do with it. Another thing we've learned while writing Citi GPS reports on disruptive innovations is the time it takes a new product to become widely used for global customers has dramatically decreased. And this is interesting and important. According to Visual Capitalist, it took the telephone 50 years to reach 50 million customers. Did you know that? That's mind-boggling. I just can't fathom it. I mean, the telephone's invented and it takes 15 years. And now obviously everybody has a phone in their pocket, right? 22 years for television. It took 22 years for television to catch on and to see mass, widespread adoption. 7 years for the internet, and just 19 days for Pokemon Go. So it's not surprising the uptake of Bitcoin in the past almost 7 years has been nothing but extraordinary. Not only has Bitcoin increased in usage and value, hitting $1 trillion in market capitalization in February of 2021, but it has created a whole ecosystem around it, including crypto exchanges, crypto banks, and new offerings into savings, lending, and borrowing. In the report that follows, the authors note that the biggest change with Bitcoin is the shift from it being primarily a retail-focused endeavor to something that looks attractive for institutional investors. We've been talking about this a lot. And this is one of the reasons, this is one of the key primary macro reasons why this bull market might be different than the 2016-17 bull market. Because these institutional, did you know, for instance, that Grayscale can't sell the Bitcoin that they buy? It's part of their charter. I read that the other day and I was like, wow, whoa, that's crazy. I mean, I've been talking about how these institutional investors, many of them they're buying Bitcoin to hold it. They're putting it into their funds and they're even going into retirement funds and things like that. These institutional investors that have been coming in and piling in, even Tesla putting it on their balance sheet, they're not buying it to trade it. And so this is going to add more stability to the market, decrease volatility. But as Citibank is pointing out here, it's obviously become a lot more attractive to these institutional investors, and this could mean that this bull market is bringing us to a new normal. To use one of those words, that Verbicide words of the 2020 Corona pandemic, right? The new normal, the new level, and we could just keep going up from here. I really do believe that is what we are likely to see. Obviously, markets go up, markets go down, and nothing goes up forever. But a new market, a small market like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, which is seeing all this new onboarding and mass adoption and institutional investors coming in, it could go up a lot and then keep going up a lot more before it stabilizes or drops down and then stabilizes and starts to sort of do the normal up and down of a typical well-established market. Specific enhancements to exchanges, trading data, and custody services are increasing and being revamped to accommodate the requirements of institutional investors. Citi also says Bitcoin is evolving as the North Star in the digital asset space, and it is a compass for the evaluation of a broader ecosystem of crypto commerce. And this is nice. I'm glad to see that Citi is acknowledging the fact that while Bitcoin is dominant, and it clearly still is at 60%, and while there really, for the most part, has not been an unhinging of the market, everything seems to, for the most part, follow Bitcoin. There's this entire huge ecosystem that is constantly growing and also bringing in the technologies and the revolutionary type of things that are adding value to the space. So they say new innovations, including the announcements of fiat-backed stablecoins used within public and private networks, may build pressure for central banks to consider their own digital currency options. Where could Bitcoin be in another 7 or so years? The report notes the advantage of Bitcoin in global payments, including its decentralized design, lack of foreign exchange exposure, fast and potentially cheaper money movements, secure payment channels, and traceability. These attributes, combined with Bitcoin's global reach and neutrality, could spur it to become the cryptocurrency of choice for international trade. Wow! And there's a lot more here. You can go read the entire report if you want to, but good stuff, right? They're coming on board. They're coming on board. They're coming on board. They're coming on board, boys. Something like that. They're coming on board. There's some Verbicide. No, not exactly. That's just making up words. All right. I want to talk to you about the coin highlight of the day, which is Fantom. I've mentioned Fantom a number of times, and Fantom has just been killing it, and so I think you should be aware of it. They had a little bit of a glitch the other day, which they're working to resolve. Fantom brushes off network outage with another 50% price surge. With over 3,000% growth since the turn of the year, even a recent network outage could not stop Fantom's bullish surge. Now, Fantom is a proof-of-stake system. It has a lot of similarities, I would say, to Cardano and Polkadot. They haven't decentralized enough. They only have something like 36 nodes currently running, or staking pools running, and so someone was able to get 30% and have a majority and pause the network for just a little bit, is what this story talks about. The core team was able to, the development team of Fantom was able to write an update quickly. No funds were lost. There really wasn't any kind of damage or anything like that done, and they're able to solve that problem with an update. The rest of the staking pools were able to get on board, and they're working now then to make sure that they make it more decentralized and they get more nodes on board. What they're doing actually to do that is, okay, here it says the 39 validator nodes is what oversaw the block creation. And so now what they've done is they've decreased the amount of Fantom that is required. In January, this equated to a dollar value of just over 30,000 because you had to have 3,175 of the Fantom token to run a validating node. Now they've dropped that down, and because today to get that amount of Fantom is $1.8 million. Can you only imagine if you were one of the people that set up a validator node and you put $30,000 worth into it and now it's $1.8 million. Not a bad return, right? So they're reducing the requirement for the amount of tokens that have to be staked to be a validator in order to bring on more validators to make sure that something like this doesn't happen. And so I think they're going to solve this problem. But in spite of that, I was just going to bring some, just not a deep dive, just a really quick sort of mini dive into what is Fantom and why it has been doing so well. Now, what they're doing is they're building a highly scalable blockchain ecosystem that has interoperability, just like so many others are, just like the Cardanos and the Polkadots. So I would say that they're a very, very similar platform. And if you're looking for like a lower cap, less heard of project, this would be more along the lines of Algorand as well. Look at Fantom. So Fantom is interesting with their DeFi. One of the things that Fantom is doing is, let's just look at this here. Fantom offers the first DeFi stack built on an ABFT, that's Byzantine Fault transaction consensus. It's much faster, cheaper, and more reliable and secure than its predecessors. On Fantom, you can use your FTM to mint FUSD and access the DeFi tools. You can use FUSD to trade synthetic assets or lend it to earn interest and borrow synthetic tokens. So I looked at their wallet. I downloaded the wallet, which you can do, and everything's built right into it. They've got a Uniswap type of exchange built in there, which is very, very slick. They've got this synthetic token type of thing going on, right? Where we're talking about like gold and silver and stocks and that sort of thing. So just like the synthetic token and network, they're doing it right within the wallet, right on their own ecosystem. So that is very, I like it. It's looking good. It's looking good, right? If you look at the team, they have an extensive team, a lot of people working on the project. That looks pretty good. I would want to dive a little bit deeper at one point into the details of who they are and what they're doing. And so that's some research that we'll probably be bringing to you here at some point in time in the future. But where they really shine and what really looks interesting is the partners and the integrations that they have. They're just working with a ton of people, and that is cool. Chainlink, of course. By the way, as a side note, Chainlink is looking good. Looking good, friends. I mean, with their interoperability and their, their Oracle platform, they're gonna. Yeah. Anyway, I'll talk about that another time. They're working with Band Protocol, which is very similar, if you're not familiar, to Chainlink, another Oracle platform solution that aggregates data from multiple providers and then connects that data to these platforms like Fantom. Who else are the Ren? They're working with Ren. Ethereum Classic Labs is kind of interesting because IOHK is also working with Ethereum Classic, and so it's, and Ethereum Classic is one of those interesting ones that sort of gets ignored, and they've obviously had a lot of trouble with the 51% attacks and things like that, but that they've overcome time and time again, and it might be something to keep an eye on too as well. But they're working with that. They're working with Waves. They're working with Ontology. But as we scroll down. Frontier being another one, OKX, the exchange, but there's a couple other things that were interesting, and as I just keep scrolling through, there's Fusion, there's Injective, which is the Injective is the synthetic assets platform as well. There's Unilend, there's Travala. This is an interesting one. This is a blockchain-based travel booking platform. Dabs. Gravity. They're working with the Afghanistan Chamber of Commerce and Investment. And this is what I thought was kind of interesting. Fantom will upgrade the Chamber's current software, incorporating cryptographic and blockchain tools, including authentication of documentation for certificates of origin and certificates of quality. Huh? Look at that. Who'd have thought? The Afghanistan Ministry of Health, ensuring public health. They're working with the Ministry of Public Health in Afghanistan as well. They're working with the ministry on several public health initiatives. The first use case will be connecting pharmaceuticals to the public Fantom mainnet via QR codes to enable users to verify their authenticity. Other potential applications include blockchain-based hospital medical records and digital patient data. Just some incredible stuff. I mean, that's pretty cool to see these guys working with the Afghanistani government. Nabros Pharma, another one. Bliss, GVS. Check it. It just kind of goes on and on and on. House Africa. House Africa won the Fantom Hackathon Award, Best African Blockchain Startup in the 2019 Africa. So here's an Ethereum competitor, an alternative, which is clearly making some inroads into some of these other countries around the world, in the Middle East. Even there's something here in the Seed Group, driving business networking in the Middle East and North Africa region. So just, that gives a little bit of exposure to some of the other things that are going on in other parts of the globe, and I find it very interesting. Now, this is, for those who are on video, the Uniswap type platform that they have. Now, here's where this is interesting. Fantom, this is the site for this, if you want to check it out, is multichain.xyz. And the same thing exists within the Fantom wallet. But here's where it gets crazy, is that you can get a token like Aave on the Ethereum mainnet, and this is a bridge. You can take that Aave and you can transfer it to the FTM mainnet. Now, why would you want to do this? And Binance Smart Chain has something similar. But why would you want to do this? Well, the reason you'd want to do this is because of the fees that you've been experiencing on the Ethereum network. And if you want to jump into some of the other Fantom-based, and they're not doing this with just Fantom, they're going to do it with all the other chains. Like, they're going to be interoperable. They're going to have these cross-chain swaps, basically, right? These bridges where you can transfer your Ethereum token, your ERC20 token, onto the other platform, be it Fantom or Cardano, or they're working with Polkadot. They're working with all of these. And so Fantom's doing some big stuff for sure, absolutely. DeFi products on Fantom, the new assets coming to Fantom, new ERC20 tokens, new token contracts are being added to Fantom. You can bring your assets from Ethereum to Fantom for lending and borrowing, trading, and minting synthetic assets. We talked about that already. So this multi-chain bridge is going to be quite interesting. I think it's a direction that we're going to see things going where it really isn't going to matter so much. You'll be able to, actually, if anything, this is, just a reason why Ethereum needs to get 2.0 going and get it up and going quickly, because it's going to be, super simple. Going back to the Citi report, right? We're at a time now where it just takes like seconds. It takes moments, just a click of the mouse to move from one platform to another. And within the technology space, we see this happen. I think of Clubhouse, for instance. Things just pop up, and next thing, overnight, they're massive and they're huge, and the adoption just goes from nothing to like everybody's talking about it, right? So you gotta keep that in mind, especially within the cryptocurrency space. This stuff can change really fast. First mover advantage isn't what it was, right? And that's because of the nature of how this stuff works. So just keep that in mind. Well, friends, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. It has been an incredible day for crypto. Please be sure to visit blockthrasher.com, sign up for a membership there. Please, if you're listening on the podcast, click subscribe to get these updates every single day. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check us out on Facebook. We have a very vibrant and very fast growing group there at facebook.com/groups/blockthrasher. Remember, it's always a great day to earn more crypto. Stack, stack, stack. Love y'all. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.